Hey, tonight you're not going to sleep, are you?
How can you? It's Mahashivratri. Tonight you snooze, you lose. Want to know why?
On this day, there is a phenomenal upsurge of energy. So having realized this, the yogic tradition set this up, that nobody should lie down on this night. Your spine should be vertical so that an upward movement happens. Children are told on this night to go and throw stones on people's homes, and on that day you can do this mischief and no crime. Wherever you are watching this event, every hour make a call to all the people that you care for. Let them curse you, it's okay, but they sit up. You're rendering a great service to them. I want all of you to participate. Yeah, we are at the house of Mozart. Mozart, for any music lover in the world, Mozart is not a strange name, but the sad story of his life and the fantastic nature of his life is he started composing when he was 5 years of age. And by 8, he performed or he conducted a symphony. This is only possible when there is a samskara like this, that the learning is not from what is around you. The learning is what one has imbibed from elsewhere. So this is what is called a samskara. Samskaric learning is of great significance, unfortunately being lost in the modern school education systems. But Mozart is a fantastic example of that, and within his short span of life, he became like the god of music in this region. But unfortunately, he succumbed to some unknown illness at the age of 36, and nobody knows where he is buried, in some unmarked grave somewhere. That's a sad story of who he was, but even today, anybody who loves music, their hearts will flutter when they hear the name of Mozart. Mozart is a master of music, not learned, but imbibed music. If you can find a place where there are no sounds of machines and your cell phone will not tink-tink, quietly if you can listen to the sound of the trees, the breeze, the water, just the natural sounds, if you pay enough attention, tremendous things will happen to you. Many times I've been in the South Indian, they're kind of tropical rainforests. The longest I've been there through the jungle for about 23 days alone. No any kind of support, no cell phone for sure those days, and not even a torchlight. And fourth day I ran out of the food that I was carrying, so I lived off the forest. By about eighth day, I lost my jacket and one half of my shirt, because I was chased by some animals and by that whole thing. I had half a shirt and pants. And I walked through. This is elephant country, tiger country. I saw tigers, panthers, elephants, all kinds of… the wild buffalo, various kinds of animals, very close quarters. But at the end of it, when you look back, what is the biggest impact on you? It's the insights. It's in the nights, the orchestra that goes on in the rainforest. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And the timing, every day. Night 2:15 means one group will stop and the other group will stop. Really, their sense of time, every day, exactly, by the second, one group will start, another group will start. And you don't know what they're talking about. They're definitely talking something that you don't know, for sure. They're not just making dumb noises. So if you just sit there and listen and listen and listen and listen, slowly you start noticing there is a pattern and an organization to this, which is far bigger than any human symphonies that you can achieve, far more complex and far more intense. I think it's very important for every human being, particularly if you have children. Vacation need not be Disneyland. I'm not against it, but one trip is enough, all silly stuff which excites you. Vacation should be into nature. If you can take your children, walk in a jungle, not in a resort, just live on a mountain, expose them to nature, I will tell you, you will bring up your children not only physically healthy, mentally healthy, far more sensible and accepting and wonderful kind of human beings if they know how to… Because once you go into nature, whose son you are, whose daughter you are, what are you in the city doesn't matter, okay? Very important that everybody experiences that, otherwise you start creating your own illusions as to who you are and you start believing it for sure. Only death and disease tells people who they are. It's very important, especially if you have children, it's extremely important that vacation does not mean movies, vacation does not mean some, I don't know, silly entertainment of doing this and that. It's important there is some connection with the roots of who we are and we listen to the right kind of things, what makes life buzz. There is no safety in stagnation. A seed is meaningful only for a certain span of time. Seed is potential life, very important, but it is a state of stagnation. If you try to keep anything in a state of stagnation, for sure you will lose it. The only safety is to make it grow, whether it's your body or your mind or your life. The only safety is in making it happen, not in trying to preserve it. Try this with your body and see. Because you want to live for a long time, from tomorrow eat all the best food and save it, don't use it. Try to save it. There is no safety in trying to save it, that's not the way life is made. The only way to save it is to use it. Your existence, you're actually a sexually transmitted disease, you know. It is the basics of life, you are born because of that, I'm saying. Not your sexuality, somebody else's. So, we are born out of that. Should we end with that? That's a question. It is not about right and wrong, it is not about morality. It is about the limited nature of what it is. Do you want to be stuck in it forever? Or do you want to think, this is all bad, I don't want to touch it? No. I would say, for at least 30 to 40% of the human beings, it is only a passing thing within themselves. But because of social culture, they all believe they must go in that direction. There may be another 30-40 for whom it's a very compulsive need. Another 30-40% are medium, they're like, they need it but not so compulsively. This is the nature of the population. I'm saying this with certain absolute sense of perception about this. Not everybody is on it all the time. But today society is cultivating them like this. If you're not it, you're not normal. So, what you're essentially saying is, all the yogis of the past were not normal, Gautam Buddha was not normal, nobody was normal except those who are on the pornography sites. Nobody's normal. No, this is highly exaggerated sense of physicality. There is a physical body, it has come into existence only because of somebody's sexuality, isn't it? So, sex as a fundamental instinct in the body is one thing, it residing in your mind is another thing. That is happening because of a certain level of culture around you. That is happening because of somebody told you it is a sin, you should not think about it. It is just that there is a dignified way of conducting it. For that we created institutions, we created a certain level of commitment, because there is a fundamental need within a human being to conduct every aspect of our life with some sense of aesthetic, otherwise we will feel like animals. See, we eat, we can eat like this. When you're very hungry, you become like an animal. If you've not eaten for 5 days, you will eat like that with both hands. Like how… have you seen how a hungry dog will eat? Like that. A human being also will behave like that when the need becomes like that. Now, the same… but now we learn to sit properly. When you're very hungry, Sahana some brahmachari is showing you his lung power. You would have done 3 ohms by the time he finishes Om. Because when something is very needed for you, just if you wait 2 minutes, you will see what is compulsive becomes conscious. Food, sex, sleep and death. These are 4 things which are compulsive. A human being distinguishes himself or herself from animal nature just by conducting these aspects of life also consciously. That is when, if you do these things like any other creature on the planet, the moment you see somebody like that, you say, oh, he's like animal, isn't it? So, instinctually, there is a certain compulsiveness, but you have an intelligence which can make you conscious and conduct that aspect of life consciously. If you don't do that, then you see every day you're hearing about rapes and brutality and all kinds of things. It's the same desire he has that any other man has, but he cannot conduct it in an aesthetically correct way, in a dignified way, that his compulsions overtake his intelligence. So, first thing is, leave this nonsense about it being a sin, it being wrong, morality. That's not the point. The important thing to understand is the limited nature of what it is. There are many people who cannot stop eating. Hello? It's just a good thing about eating is, if you can't stop eating, it'll be immediately noticed by everybody who did not see you eating also. Similarly, there are some people with sexuality, there are some people who fall asleep wherever they are. Satsang is a good place. happening. It's okay. This is the fundamental thing. These basic instincts that we have in our bodies of food, sex, sleep and death, when you conduct these four things consciously, that is when you are a human being, including death, I'm saying. That is when you are a genuine human being. Otherwise, it's an evolutionary lapse. So what can I do, Sadhguru? It's evolution. No, that is the whole thing. Once you become a human being, evolution is by choice. Will you evolve or will you not? When you were a monkey, you did not choose to become human, but once you become a human being, what kind of human being do I want to be is your choice. At a certain moment of compulsion, you may think, I don't have choice. No, you have choice. You have not learned how to exercise that choice. Still instincts are there, but you can conduct it by choice, not by compulsion. That's the difference. All of you are born out of sex, but should you live for this for the rest of your life? This is a choice. This is a choice. It is an element of your body, it is not the whole of it. It is an element of who you are, it is not the entirety of who you are. Essentially, it is a longing. What we long for can be transformed, isn't it? When you were a child, you were longing for a peppermint. As you grow up, you long for something else. Right now, you're a young adult, you're longing for something. But longings keep changing, isn't it? This longing, will it change by the compulsions of time, or will it change by choice, by conscious choice? It is not about, you must give up this, you must give up that, you must become like this, you must become like that. There are also ways for that. That one who wants to transcend can transcend. It is not a giving up. If you transcend, you are free from everything. But the most important thing is, even when you're in it, are you a conscious choice or are you a compulsive animal? This is the thing, because the essential difference between a human being and animal is their instinctive reaction to life. We are a conscious response to life. Exercise that. It's all right, you don't have to feel guilty, you don't have to feel, oh, I'm sexually driven, so I'm not spiritual. You're driven, so you can make it into a spiritual process. Instead of being driven, if you become the driver, that is the spiritual process. You want to be driven by something or you want to be the driver? If you are the driver, that is the spiritual process. Understand? Most intimate of the physicality in the existence is your body. And this body is just a piece of earth. You're just a small outcrop of this earth. Right now you're an outcrop who prances around. After some time, you will become a small mound. You may believe many fancy things about yourself, but that's not the reality.
Somehow, this fundamental thing that we are just a small outcrop of the soil on which you're sitting right now is forgotten, generally till we are buried.
If you want to live sensibly, you should have contact with the earth that you live on. Today, because we have lost this contact in certain ways, it gets disorganized. This disorganization can lead to disease and weakness and ultimately destabilization of the system itself.
कहे कुमार को तू क्या रूंधे मोही, एक दिन ऐसा होएगा मैं रूंधूंगी तो ही। आए हैं सो जाएंगे राजा रंग फकीर, तू क्या रूठ मोही एक दिन ऐसा होएगा मैं रू दूंगी तोही
I must tell you this experience. We had a yogic hospital in our yoga center in India. We called it yogic hospital. We did not want it to grow too much because we don't want to turn into a hospital full-time. We are a spiritual center so we're keeping it low-key. Once when I came here, I spoke and a few doctors, American doctors who were interested, they traveled to India. They came and stayed there for 3 days and after 3 days, one of the volunteers came and told me all the American doctors are up in arms, they want to leave. I said, what happened? They said, it's best that you meet them, they're just off. Then I said, okay, and I went to meet them. Then I said, what's the problem? They said, you said there is a hospital. Where is a hospital? There is no hospital here. I said, right now there are about 60 and odd patients. I said, where is it? Their idea of a hospital is that there must be beds, you must treat sick well, and everybody should be… If you treat them so well, they will not want to become healthy. Where are the patients? I said, they're all in the garden, I put them to work. We give them the treatment and therapies and medication, but rest of the time I put them to work. Whatever they can do, they must do. Above all, they must sit and work barefoot and bare hands with the soil. Just being in touch with the planet, because you're just a drop of this planet, you're forgetting that. What you call as my body is just a piece of the planet, isn't it? If you lose connection with the source, will you not get disorganized? Fitness and well-being does not mean walking on a treadmill, having bulging muscles like that. No. To strengthen the integrity of elements in our system is very important. So is there some way to do it? Yes, there are specific methods with which we can do. One simple way right now is work with the earth and water and plants and stay outdoors. That itself will do something. So fundamentally, if there is a certain assurance of nourishment happening to the body in terms of food, and there's clean air to breathe, and being in touch with the earth can complete the health process altogether. So if you can't be in tune with that, if you're a very affluent and fashionable, you can have a mud bath. That's another way So today you take vacations, go to the spas, have mud bath, in a very expensive atmosphere. But every day if you stick your hands into the earth, or at least for a few minutes a day, you would see the body would be in a much better condition because whenever it's in contact with the earth, the body reorganizes. More you're in touch with it, it's better. You can't… all of you can't turn into farmers now, and maybe you're living on the 12th floor and you can't be a gardener either. So at least being in touch with the earth, palms and soles are very sensitive to this. If your hands and your bare feet are in contact with the earth, it'll make a difference. Or at least you do your… I don't recommend this, but if you are doing your afternoon siesta, do it under a tree with your spine in contact with the earth, things will happen very well. Or to be in a natural pool of water which is in the earth, like a lake or a river or an ocean, will do tremendous things to the system. You know the grounding, you know, the electricity groundings we do. Is it called grounding here? What do you call it? Earthing. It's called earthing or grounding, you know, it's called earthing actually. So, when you earth the electrical connections, one thing is to keep it wet, because if it is wet, it gets conducted better. So this is why in all the Indian temples, why do you think people are making their bodies wet and lying down on the floor in prostration? Is just this, not just earthing, that special earth, which is energized earth around. So, you want the entire body to be in touch with the thing. So, men go bare-bodied, at least their upper body is bare. Women go with wet clothes so that that contact is there. This contact with nature, whether it's earth or air or water, is most important. If that is not there, the body will slowly lose its integrity, it'll lose its stability, it loses its many abilities that it is capable of. It may still survive, it may not die tomorrow morning, but it loses its variety of capabilities that it has come with. The many possibilities, the array of possibilities that human system carries is lost as you lose contact with the natural element. Especially before you go for dinner or for lunch, especially before that, at least for half an hour, walk without footwear, not on this granite, either in the grass or in the mud outside. You will see body being in touch with the earth. When you eat the food that you eat, the way it integrates it is very different. Digestion will anyway happen, but how much you can integrate into the system depends on how much you're in tune with the earth. So, even half an hour, if you walk without shoes or footwear, and the body remains in touch with the earth, you will see the elements will function with little more integrity than the way it is.
Walking and playing barefoot is really coming into vogue. The yogic systems have always recommended this, and now science is getting there too. Especially for children, not only does this give them better balance, it also helps develop their cerebral capabilities. The nerves of the feet are sensitive, and as they come in contact with the ground, the child develops a better understanding of their environment and also experiences better awareness of the body. Walking barefoot has been linked to better agility, stronger leg muscles, and lower risk of injury.
Being in touch with the earth has many other aspects to it. In the ashram, I always told people, no matter what work you do, at least for 1 hour a day, you must stick your fingers into the earth. You do something with the garden somewhere, your hands should get muddy. This will build a natural physical memory in you, a bodily memory in you that you are mortal. Every day, if you're sticking your hands into the earth, you will constantly… your body will know that it's not permanent, because the body has a memory of its own. Its body's memory far more significant than the mental memory. Right now, the memory that your body carries is ruling you far more than the memories of your mind. Physiologically, on the cellular level, on the elemental level, you're constantly being reminded that you are mortal if you are close to the earth. See, the reminder of your mortality is the most key element in your spiritual process. Why would you long to know something beyond the body? Only because you know it will end one day, isn't it? Suppose this body was immortal, who the hell is going to sit and meditate? Who the hell wants to know anything beyond this, if this was immortal by itself, isn't it? Because somewhere, even if you're not consciously aware, somewhere deep down, you know your expiry date is on. The expiry date is on, you're trying to stretch it a bit, but you know you have an expiry date. It is because of that the longing to know, isn't it? So the fundamentals of spiritual process is your mortality. If you are reminded of your mortality, naturally you will want to know. There are various practices in India as to how to connect to the earth experientially, many practices. Just sitting down, cross-legged on the floor, the body in some way experientially is reminded. There is a reminder for the body that this is just this. The moment it is in touch with the earth, it knows it is this. Those of you who have very unstable bodies, that is, you tend to fall sick very easily and, constantly those kind of things. If you just get off your cot and sleep on the floor, you will see it'll make a big difference. Just that much. Just maybe 18 inches away you are, just get 18 inches closer. You will see it'll make a big difference in terms of reorganizing the system.
I would say 80% of your health depends on this, how much you're in tune with the earth. 80%. 80% of your chronic ailments can just vanish simply because you kind of found a little rapport with the earth on which you're walking or sitting.
One simple practice that all of you can start is the Bhuta Shuddhi, if you have the time and the necessary focus to do it. Bhuta Shuddhi means, Bhuta means Panchabhutas or the five elements. Shuddhi means to cleanse that. Whether it is the physical body or the larger body of the creation itself, essentially is made of five elements of earth, water, fire, air, space. What you call as myself is just a mischief of these five elements. If you know how to organize these five elements properly, if you know how to keep these five elements within yourself, then there is nothing more to life in terms of health, well-being, perception, knowing, everything, enlightenment. Everything is handled if only you know how to keep these five elements properly. This elemental play happens in a different way when it's in touch with the earth.
Every time I hear this, particularly when I'm in the United States, I still can't come to terms with it. People calling earth as dirt. Maybe it's just another word, but in our mind, dirt means… What is dirt for you? Huh? Trash, isn't it? Dirt is trash, isn't it? Yes or no? Even in America, dirt is trash? No? Something that you don't want. Yes, it's trash, that's what is trash, something that you don't want. But soil, here we call it Thai Mann, Mother Earth. Why is it we are not reverential to all those things which make our life, sustain our life moment to moment? You just treat them differently. Suddenly they behave differently within you. If you did not drink water for 3 days, even if God comes, you'll only ask for water. If you hold your nose for 3 minutes, you don't want God, you want a breath, fresh air, isn't it? One simple thing that everybody can do is, the air that they breathe, the water that they drink, the food that they eat, and the earth that they walk upon, and the space which holds us. 5 times a day, let's say. If you are too preoccupied, at least 3 times a day, consciously, just bring a certain sense of reverence. This is a very common thing, you're being told, Matru Prema, Pitru Prema, this one, that one. Prithvi Prema, that is, love for the planet on which you're walking, because that's not different from you.
The first question that I want to ask is actually related to me. I'm in the last year of engineering, so now there is a very big decision that I have to make now, and people have told me that if I take decisions from my heart, I'll be successful in life. So, but there lies a problem. The problem is that I don't know which thought is coming from my heart and which thought is coming from my brain. So how can I figure out like which thought is from my heart and which is coming from my brain?
The heart makes only two sounds, lub-dub. Unless the local girls are disturbing it and it's going a little crazy. Otherwise it makes only two sounds. Rest of the noise is all coming from your head. This idea that something comes from the heart, something comes from the brain, it's metaphoric, but unfortunately a whole lot of people are taking it literally. There was a time in many parts of the world, particularly in Arabia, the medical science in Arabia believed the blood is pumped from the liver. You might have heard Urdu sayings about Kalija, have you? Because they believed blood is being pumped from the liver, because liver is a far more complicated organ than the heart. Heart is a simple pump. So do not give it any more responsibilities other than continuously pumping the blood and keeping you alive, unless somebody here breaks it. So, about the last year of engineering, I want you to change that language because this happened. Can I tell you a joke? It's okay?
Yeah.
You're pretty serious about this, that's why I'm asking. This happened. A very celebrated scientist was at a dinner and he was not grandly dressed or anything, he was looking very ordinary. So the lady who was, sitting next to him didn't pay much attention to him, she doesn't know who he is. But after some time, just to be polite, to make some conversation, "May I know what do you do?" He said, "I'm studying science." He said, "Oh, I finished that in my 10th class." So you're not going to, you're not in the last year of engineering, maybe the course, but not the last year of engineering, because for your entire life, if you learn engineering, when you're dying, after 100 years, okay? I'm not preponing it. After 100 years when you're dying, you would still know, if you are a constant learning process, you would still know you know very little about engineering. With that little, many things happen, that's different. So don't be in the last year of engineering. I know the program may be closing, but not the last year of engineering, okay? So, essentially engineering means to have things the way we want. Yes? When we say this building is well engineered, I'm not saying that. If we say this building is well engineered or an automobile is well engineered, what it means is it's functioning the way we want. Yes? Of all the pieces of engineering on this planet, of many pieces of engineering, a tree is a fantastic engineering, even a mountain is fantastic engineering, because it stood there for 1,000,000 years, that means it must be good engineering, isn't it? Yes? Something that stands there for 1,000,000 years must be well engineered. Of all this, the most sophisticated piece of engineering is human mechanism, isn't it so? Hello? Most sophisticated of all the pieces of engineering. Now, because it's a sophisticated piece of engineering, it needs a certain level of attention, otherwise you don't figure it. Now that we gave you such a highly, high-tech piece of engineering, I'm asking you, did you read the user's manual?
I think there is no user manual for now.
How can they make such a fantastic piece of engineering without a user's manual? Maybe it doesn't come with a booklet attached to your neck when you were born. But indications must be there, isn't it, how to use it? Huh? Is it true somebody who's an athlete or a gymnast or someone else like that learns to use their body than a whole lot of other people? Yes. Obviously, at least one aspect of the physical engineering of the body, they seem to have read the user's manual about the physical aspects. Is it true certain people are able to use their mind better than others? Maybe they read another part of the user's manual. So, now with this heart manual and the brain manual, see, the problem is most people are prejudiced against the brain. This is a question that always comes to me, Sadhguru, I want to meditate but thoughts are coming. The common question everywhere. I ask them, see, I'll make you meditate. We will stop the liver, we'll stop the kidney, we'll stop the heart, we'll stop everything, okay? Oh, no Sadhguru. So you want the liver to function when you're meditating. You want the kidneys to function, you want even the spleen to function, you want the heart to function, but you don't want your brain to function for some reason. This is simply because brain is a new equipment that you got in the evolutionary process. This level of cerebral development happened more recently compared to the other systems. If you cut open any mammal, they all have all these parts, isn't it? Every part that you have here, all of them have. Even if you open a frog, most of you, your biology department. Even if you open a frog, almost everything that you have, he also has, isn't it? It is only… the big difference is only the cerebral development, which is a more recent happening. Because it's a more recent happening, most people have not figured how to handle it. So, user's manual is very important. You don't read a user's manual just before you discard the machine. You read it in the first few days, isn't it? Well, if you buy a phone, do you want to read the user's manual in the first 3 days or after 3 years when you're throwing it away? First 3 days, isn't it? So, knowing how this functions is very important. Never did ever heart generate any thought or intention. Well, when you looked at the young girl, heart beat more, that doesn't mean it's saying anything, it's just trying to compensate for the other levels of excitement that's happening. The heart is not trying to say anything, it is only compensating, you need more blood, so it's pumping little harder. That'll happen even if you run up the staircase. Yes? What happens to you little panting when you fall in love also happens physiologically when you run up a staircase, yes or no? Fear also does that to a whole lot of people. So, heart is not trying to say anything, it is just trying to make sure every part of the body gets the nourishment of blood flow. So, it's your brain speaking in different tongues. What's your native language? What's your mother tongue?
Assamese.
So, because when you know 2-3 languages, sometimes it gets confused, sometimes it speaks in English, sometimes in Assamese, sometimes in something else. So you're thinking different people are speaking, heart is speaking, mind is speaking, no. There is thought and there is emotion. People think these two things are saying different things, they're not saying different things. The way you think is the way you emote, isn't it so? Right now, if I think, oh, she's the most wonderful person on the planet, I just have to think, then my emotions become sweet towards her. Oh, I think she's the most horrible creature on the planet. now my emotions become nasty. Yes or no? I cannot think she's horrible and have sweet emotions. I cannot think she's wonderful and have nasty emotions, isn't it so? But today, I thought she's the most wonderful person and my sweetness was flowing. Suddenly she did something tomorrow that I don't like. I think she's horrible. Thought is agile, it changes direction just like that. Emotion is little sappy. It takes time to turn around. So that period, you struggle as if there are two dimensions of thing happening. Because thought is saying one thing, emotion is still going sweet because it takes time to become nasty. Everybody struggles, but it catches up or no after some time? Hello? Today you thought she's wonderful, sweetness was flowing, tomorrow she did something you don't like, you thought she's horrible. The thought is clearly saying she's horrible, but emotions are struggling because they can't turn quickly. They take time to turn. But after a week or 10 days or 2 months, depending on how deeply you're engaged, after some time, emotion catches up with the thought. Emotion also says, yes, she's horrible, so let's be nasty to her. So, they're not speaking different languages. One is agile, another is little slow in its corners. So, it looks like they're speaking different languages. When it comes to what you want to do, you must think clearly, it's very important. Thinking clearly means, the question is not about what will get me this, what will get me that. Is your life precious to you? All of you, I'm asking. Your life, is it precious to you? Yes. So before you invest this life into something, you must look whether today if I invest my life into this, after 25 years, will it still mean a lot to me? After 50 years, will it still mean a lot to me? At the end of my life, if I turn back and I look, will I be proud of this or will I be ashamed of what I'm doing right now? Doesn't matter what other people say. But you should not do anything that you will feel ashamed of, isn't it so? Huh? It doesn't matter, people say so many things. Everybody has an opinion, it's their business. But you don't do something that you will feel ashamed of, isn't it? Then you're turning against yourself. Somebody turns against you, you can leave them and go somewhere else. If you turn against yourself, you'll have to live with it forever. So, this is all you have to look at it. Something will get you money, something will get you comfort, that's not the point. What you choose to do, will it give you a life? When I say give you a life, are you just trying to make a living or are you trying to make a life out of this? This is important. Making a living is not an issue. A worm, an insect, a bird, an animal, all of them are making their life, making a living, isn't it so? They're even making a life out of it, but definitely they're making a living. So making a living with such a big brain is not an issue. Earning your food is not an issue, making a living is not an issue. Only problem is you want to live like somebody else, that's an endless problem. I want to live is not a problem. I want to live like you, this is a problem. So, it is important, if you consider your life as a precious life, you must make sure you make a wonderful life out of this. Whatever opens up in that direction, that is the thing you should do. But when you're under the pressure of peers, somebody is saying, I'm going to America, somebody says, I'm going to the government job, somebody says, I'm doing this. So one thing that all of you should do before you make big decisions in your life is withdraw from these pressures of peers, professors, parents, everybody. Just spend 3 days to 1 week by yourself. Look at it, what is it that you really want to do? Not under pressure from other people. What does this life want to do? Do that. It doesn't matter what other people think about it.
Who became meditative in a pyramid structure? Pyramid was created to keep the dead. Pyramids were built for the dead, not for the living. Yes? If you build a pyramid, even if you make a paper pyramid, you can experiment with this. A pyramid should have an angle of 56 degrees at the top, all the four angles. If you make a pyramid with exact 56 degrees, even a simple paper pyramid, you take a vegetable. If it's in a tropical climate, you can check this very easily. Suppose there's a vegetable or a fruit which would normally rot in 3 or 4 days. Take it, place it in one place and a paper pyramid, ensuring that the angles are correct. Keep it on it. Leave it for a week or 10 days. You open and see, there'll be no rotting process. It'll be shriveled up, but there'll be no rotting. Because there are 5 manifestations of prana. One of them is called as vyana. Vyana prana, these are prana, apana, udana, samana and vyana. There are 5 manifestations of energy within the system. Vyana is in charge of the preservative nature of the body. So if you create a pyramidal form, this vyana gathers and naturally something can be preserved for a long time. You heard of the mummies, even their epithelial cells are still kept that way. They also did lots of work. It's a lot of nasty work. Have you seen a mummy in reality? Have you been to Egypt? They did lots of work on preserving the dead because of some fancy beliefs that they had. But it is essentially about preservation. No, I know a lot of people, pyramid societies are promoting you can meditate under a pyramid. Pyramid is not for meditation. Pyramid for is keeping the dead. If you want to preserve your great-grandfather, you can build a pyramid. But I would say, why bother the dead? Leave the dead to the dead. The living are your concern, isn't it? Yes? This one and the other ones around you, the living should be your concern, not the dead. Pyramid is for the dead. I don't know what to call them. Such people are promoting pyramid as a meditative process. Pyramid has nothing to do with meditation, okay? You need to understand, meditation is not some kind of an act, it is a certain quality. If you cultivate your body, if you cultivate your mind, if you cultivate your emotions and your energy to a certain level of maturity, meditation will blossom. You can't stop it. You try hard and try to meditate, you will lose your 2 marbles that you have in your head, that will also fall off. Yes. You do not try to flower, you learn to do gardening, flowers will happen. Yes? You do not try to do flowers. If you try to do flowers, you will end up with plastic flowers, you will not have flowers. You learn gardening. If you want rose flowers in your garden, you don't think roses, you think soil, you think manure, you think water, you think sunlight, isn't it? Like that. You think body, you think mind, you think emotion, you think energy. Do something about it, you will become meditative.
In the region of Jhansi, there was a woman whose name was Jalkari Bai, born in a Dalit family in 1830. In those days, she was not allowed to attend school. Instead, her father trained her in horse riding and using weapons. Local lore says that she once killed a tiger that was attacking the villagers. She married a soldier in the Jhansi army. This is where Rani Lakshmi Bai noticed that Jalkari Bai was a very brave woman. When she found out about Jalkari Bai's bravery and skills, Rani Lakshmi Bai ensured that she was trained further in warfare. During Jhansi's war with British, after the king died, rumors say that it was Jalkari Bai who asked Rani Lakshmi Bai to escape with the infant prince for his safety. In a heroic step, Jalkari Bai dressed up as the queen or Lakshmi Bai and led the battle while the queen escaped along with the infant prince. They say she fought like a tigress, killing many British soldiers and finally died fighting. Many Dalit communities in Bundelkhand look up to her as a goddess even today and celebrate Jalkari Bai Jayanti every year. We do not know how many such unsung heroes laid down their lives for India's freedom. As we celebrate the 75th year of independence, this is my effort to bring forth as many stories of such forgotten martyrs as possible. Jalkari Bai, not a queen, not of royal birth, but born in a low-caste family, but rose to a heroic heights of fighting the British, and she is immortalized in that region. It's time the nation remembers her. It is time the nation celebrates her heroic deeds, her valor and her skills in the battle. It is her ultimate sacrifice which allowed Rani Lakshmi Bai to live and fight another day. We bow down to this great woman of India. Namaskar.
Each of these videos is a construction, and whoever reaches the end is helping to sustain this work. If this content resonated with you, leave a comment, share it, subscribe, and of course, give it a like. Also, take a look at the links in the description. There are more paths for you to explore. Thanks a lot, big hug, and see you in the next video.